So what's all the expensive equipment you need to make whole leaf tea? Hey everybody, I'm Eric, and today on Tea and Tobacco, I'm going to talk about various brew methods for whole leaf tea. Now, you don't have to go out and buy anything expensive or specific to make whole leaf tea. You probably already have everything you need. If you have a coffee mug and a way to boil water, you're set. That's really all you need. So, getting right into it, this will be an overview video, and as I put up more specific videos, I will annotate them so you can click through to the relevant brew method that you're interested in. So to start off, I have just a coffee mug. You can easily make whole leaf tea in a coffee mug by itself. You can make it cowboy coffee style. You just put the leaves in, fill it up with hot water, let it sit. I would advise against doing this with a lot of small leaf or shredded teas like you would normally find that Westerners are familiar with. I'm talking about whole leaf tea that, you know, when they're unfurled, they could be, you know, this big to this big. And if you do it that way, then the leaves will sink down to the bottom once they're saturated with water, and you can drink off the top. Also, they're big enough that you could easily filter them out with your teeth. Not a big deal. If you get a really young variety, you can just eat the leaves if you want to. There are plenty of tea varieties that the leaves are really tender and there's no stemminess, so you can just eat them. So moving on from the regular coffee mug, here I have a mug that is more specific to making tea. It actually has a ceramic basket inside. It's got a bunch of holes in the bottom and the side. You put the tea in there, fill it up with water. Once you're done steeping, you just take the basket out and you're good to go. All right. Here we have, this is basic, I don't even know what you would call this, a bottom draining infuser. So if you already have your coffee mug, what you do, you put the leaves in, and it has a fine mesh down on the bottom and has a ball valve on the bottom as well. So you fill it up, you let it steep, and when you're ready to go, all you have to do is set it on top of the mug, which activates the ball valve, and it drains down into your mug. This is a good method to brew pretty much any tea, down to shredded tea and little, because this mesh is really fine. You can easily find these on Amazon, $10 to $20, depending. A whole bunch of different retailers sell them. They're pretty commonplace at this point, but they're good to make basically anything because they drain relatively quickly, and since the fine mesh is at the bottom, you can brew small shredded stuff if you want. All right, and then I have, this is a travel infuser. It's kind of a thermos style. They have them in ceramic and stainless steel as well. I would advise against the glass. While it looks cool seeing all the tea leaves down here floating around, I've had a few of these break on me. They're just kind of not worth it. The interior sleeve breaks apart from the exterior sleeve and doesn't work very well. In the top there is a filter that comes out. So you can just put the tea in, fill it up with water. You have your filter here, and then you can just drink straight through the filter with all the tea leaves held down in the bottom, or you can put the tea leaves on the top, fill this up with water, put the cap on, and you can turn it upside down, let it steep, and then you can take it off, take the filter out, toss the leaves. So there you go. This is what I usually use here at home, and I'll try not to break stuff. This is a Juan set. I did a Yabo of this a few days ago. This one happens to be a travel set I got off of Amazon for a whole $13. The bamboo tray was not included, but though the tray you can get for $15 to $25 on Amazon, not a big deal. This is kind of a traditional Chinese way of making tea, and I like to use this particular method because a lot of the teas that I do use You can brew multiple times. So this is about 100 milliliters, about 3.3 ounces or so. And some teas that I drink, you can brew up to 10 times. So do out the math, you're talking well over 30 ounces in one sitting. That's a lot of liquid to drink, and I don't really want to use something like this that is 12 ounces and drink 10 of these. No. So the Gaiwan works well. A lot of the teas that I make, you do some flash steeping, so really you pour the water in and then you pour it off really quickly. So that's helpful for these too. So this is just a serving cup that comes with it, and then obviously the small cup to drink out of. Also comes with a little filter that helps get some of the smaller particles and dust that can break off from the larger leaves. I wouldn't use anything shredded in this. I'd use whole leaf Chinese teas for the most part in a Gaiwan. And then lastly is kind of the obvious choice, is using a teapot. This one happens to be cast iron. There are retailers out there that are pushing their cast iron pots and they are ripping people off. Specifically as a retailer that shows up in a lot of malls. They're selling their cast iron teapots. One of them I saw was $180 that they're selling it for. You can get it on Amazon, the exact thing, same thing, for 20 bucks. Don't pay $80, $100, $180 for a cast iron teapot. You can get them way cheaper and it's the same exact thing. So really no reason. I got this one for $15 at World Market. It works just as well. This one happens to be cast iron. They come cast iron with thick enamel on them. You can get clay, you can get ceramic. I'm sure you can get a whole bunch of other things. You got the English style pots that could be made out of actually silver or copper. This one's nice. It has a mesh basket that goes in it. It's stainless steel. You just put the tea in, fill it up, let it steep. When you're done steeping, you can take the basket out and either set it aside so you can brew it again or just toss the leaves. These baskets are really nice too. If you have this or like a sieve, you can actually just, this mug's actually a little big, but a regular sized coffee mug, this will rest right on the rim. You put the tea leaves in, brew, and then take the basket out. These are like, you know, $1 or $2. Or you could use a tea ball if you want to. The reason I don't usually use a tea ball is because they're usually too small. Something this big is what you're looking for, especially a lot of the whole leaf teas. They're going to unfurl a lot. So I will, you know, in my Gaiwan, I will put a very small amount that just barely covers the bottom. And once it's brewed up, it fills up the entire thing. So that's why I like it to use the largest basket that I can use, since the whole leaf teas will expand quite a lot. So there you have it. Those are a lot of the tools that I have. Really, like I said, you don't need any of these. You could just use a simple coffee mug or a coffee mug with one of these and you're pretty much good to go. As long as you can boil water, you're all set. So I will be making more specific videos to each one of these types of brewing methods in the future, and I will go back and annotate all of those sections so you can see them. And that's it for today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time on Tea and Tobacco. See you guys. I'm going to talk about a problem that we all run into now and then, which is excess moisture buildup inside of our pipes, which then ends up causing gurgling. They both have Cigars premium butane in them. So I got a spoon.